everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Chuck. I am your host, and before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like the episode, well, hit that like button too. Give us a big thumbs up, and I'm going to thank y'all in advance. But on tap on this episode, well, it's inevitable. It happens every year. This is the season. This is the time of year where every brewery, pretty much probably almost on the planet, releases some sort of pumpkin beer. It's like clockwork. It happens. So I figure it's my duty, it's my job to get out there and, review one or maybe two each season. So that's what we're doing. So the lucky brewery on this episode, well, is from Southern Tier Brewing. Southern Tier Brewing, and they are located in Lakewood, New York. So this is their Warlock. The Warlock. I like that. The Warlock. Anyways, this is the Warlock, and if you haven't guessed it, this is an Imperial Pumpkin Stout. So this beer clocks in at 8.6% ABV, which is high, but it's not as high as some of the other Imperial Stouts on the market, which is kind of cool. And this beer also has an IBU of 40, and it's made with CTZ hops. So without further ado, I'm going to set the bottle down, pull out the bottle opener, and we're cracking open the Warlock, baby. And we're getting the pumpkin flowing. Here we go. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. Zero smoke out of the bottle. I thought I had a runner there for a half second, but no, false alarm. So let's give a nice pour here. Oh, this one's pouring a little lighter than I thought. It is kind of pouring like a cola. Interesting, interesting. But the color is black. Yeah, it is black. Even in light, yep, that is a black color. And we have, about just over a half finger of slightly off white carbonation, almost like a khaki color carbonation. But yeah, well, let's give this a swirl, and let's give this pumpkin beer a nose. Here we go. Little nose, baby. Nose the pumpkin. Nose, who knows? Okay. Well, we are getting... I gotta swirl this. I gotta get this one to open up here, because the aromas seem a little thin on this one. I need this to open up. Hold on. Here we go. That's a little better. Well, so we are getting some cola, a little bit of pumpkin pie, a little bit of pepper. Interesting. A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of baking spice. One more nose here. One more. Let's give it one more nose. Some slight chocolate too as well. But interesting. Black pepper. Wasn't expecting that. Usually you don't get that on a pumpkin stout, or a pumpkin beer in general. But what are you going to do? But anyways, one more swirl, and this is it. Down the hatch. Here we go. Prost. Pumpkin and all, baby. Well, okay. Remember I did say it poured a little thin? For an Imperial Stout, boop, this is a very light-bodied beer. This really is light-bodied. I was expecting a little more mouthfeel, but it's light-bodied. Get another sip here. Now, where does this fall into the realm of pumpkin beers? Because usually pumpkin beers, you have two categories. You have the beers that are just, flavored with pumpkin, and then you have the pumpkin beers that are reminiscent of a pumpkin pie, or the pumpkin pie baking in the oven that, Thanksgiving morning. This is kind of neither. This might be a pumpkin category all its own. But if I had to pick, it's definitely leaning more towards the pumpkin pie-esque category. So what are we getting? We are getting some of that baking spice. We are getting a little bit of chocolate. Almost like if you have the pumpkin pie, you drizzle some chocolate on top. Some chocolate syrup. Because there is a pumpkin pie-esque flavor coming through. A little bit of that black pepper is coming through. Now, what's interesting is usually when you have those pumpkin pie-esque kind of flavors, you're getting the baking spice, the nutmeg, the clove, the cinnamon. I'm not getting all that. I'm really not. I'm getting kind of like just a pumpkin pie without all those extra notes of all those spices. But I gotta admit, that black pepper is really throwing me off. There's some slight notes of coffee in this. Now I want to say it's almost like having a slice of pumpkin pie with some, chocolate syrup drizzled on top, drinking a coffee. I mean, this is an interesting beer. It really is. I'm going to take another sip on this. This is definitely, I got to admit, one of the most unique pumpkin beers I've ever had. It really, really is. The Warlock. Really interesting. Because it's really not in either. I mean, it is kind of in the pumpkin pie category. But what would I give this on the pint-o-meter? Because, I think the aromas on the nose were a little thin. I'm not going to lie. The balance was okay for the aromas that I got, just a little thin. Now, on the palate, predominantly, it's not the pumpkin pie. It's the coffee. It's the chocolate syrup. And that black pepper. So what would I give this? I think it's a good attempt. It's interesting. It's unique. It's definitely worth it for everyone to go out and get a 4-pack. But I'm going to give this one a 6.5. A 6.5 on the pint-o-meter. And because of the aforementioned reasons, and I just think it's a thin drinking beer. I was expecting a fuller mouthfeel or a medium-bodied mouthfeel, but I'm not really getting much of the pumpkin pie. The pumpkin flavors on this. I said it's more the coffee, the coffee, the chocolate, etc., etc. So with that note, I'm going to stick with that, but I am going to take one more sip. And I want to thank everyone for tuning into this episode. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubshaveapintin.com, or the blog, which is www.pubshaveapintin.blogspot.com. And with that being said, I'm going to raise this pint, and I'm going to say thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Cheers! Prost and enjoy.